Welcome! Today we're making oven-baked barbecue ribs that are juicy, tender, and packed with flavor. From preparing the perfect dry rub to crafting a homemade barbecue sauce, I'll guide you through each step. Let's fire up the oven and create some unforgettable ribs together. Alright, let's talk about the ingredients you'll need for making delicious barbecue ribs. First up, you'll want to grab 2 racks of pork ribs. You can use baby back or St. Louis style, whichever you prefer. Season them with salt and pepper to taste. Now for that mouth-watering dry rub. You'll need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar for that sweet caramelization, along with 1 tablespoon each of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and salt. Add in 1 teaspoon of black pepper for a bit of kick, 1 teaspoon of chili powder for some depth, and if you like it spicy, add half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Mix it all together and rub generously onto the ribs. Next, let's talk barbecue sauce. We will need 1 cup of ketchup for that tomato base, half a cup of apple cider vinegar to balance the sweetness, and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar along with 2 tablespoons of honey for that sticky sweetness. 1 tablespoon each of Worcestershire sauce and Dijon mustard for tanginess and depth of flavor. Season with 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika for that smoky aroma, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and half a teaspoon of onion powder. Finally, salt and pepper to taste. Alright, now that we've got our ingredients ready, let's move on to cooking those barbecue ribs. First, preheat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 150 degrees Celsius. This will ensure even cooking and tender ribs. Next, if your ribs still have the membrane on the back, it's a good idea to remove it. Use a paper towel to grip and peel it off. This helps the flavors penetrate better and makes for a more tender bite. Once that's done, season both sides of the ribs with salt and pepper. This simple seasoning will enhance the natural flavors of the meat and the spices from the dry rub we applied earlier. Now, let's apply that flavorful dry rub to our ribs. In a small bowl, combine all the dry rub ingredients we prepared earlier. That includes 2 tablespoons of brown sugar for sweetness, 1 tablespoon each of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and salt for savory depth, along with 1 teaspoon of black pepper for a bit of heat, 1 teaspoon of chili powder for some spice, and optionally, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper if you like it a bit hotter. Mix these ingredients together well to ensure they're evenly combined. Next, take your prepared ribs and rub this mixture generously all over both sides. Use your hands to massage the rub into the meat, making sure it coats every inch for maximum flavor. The brown sugar in the rub will help create a caramelized crust as the ribs cook, while the spices will infuse the meat with delicious smokiness and depth. Now, let's prepare our baking sheet or roasting pan for the ribs. First, grab a baking sheet or a roasting pan. Place a wire rack on top of it. This elevation is key because it allows air to circulate around the ribs, ensuring they cook evenly and get that delicious caramelization. Next, add 1 cup of water or chicken broth to the bottom of the pan. This liquid will create steam during cooking, keeping the ribs moist and juicy. It also helps prevent any drippings from burning and sticking to the pan. Now, let's bake those ribs to tender perfection. Take your seasoned ribs and place them on the wire rack we prepared earlier, making sure the meaty side is facing up. This allows the heat to penetrate the meat evenly, giving us juicy, flavorful ribs. Next, cover the ribs loosely with aluminum foil. Seal it around the edges of the pan to trap the steam and moisture inside. This helps the ribs cook slowly and tenderize without drying out. Now it's time to pop them into the preheated oven. Bake the ribs at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 150 degrees Celsius, for 2.5 to 3 hours. We're looking for the meat to be fork tender and easily pulling away from the bones. The low and slow cooking method ensures that the ribs become incredibly tender and full of flavor. So, let's get them in the oven and patiently wait for our delicious barbecue ribs to cook to perfection. While our ribs are slowly baking in the oven, let's whip up a delicious homemade barbecue sauce. Grab a saucepan and place it over medium heat on the stove. In this saucepan, we'll combine all our barbecue sauce ingredients that we prepared earlier. Now stir everything together until well combined. Bring the mixture to a gentle simmer. Let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. This allows the flavors to meld together and the sauce to thicken slightly. Now that our ribs are beautifully baked and our barbecue sauce is simmered to perfection, it's time to add the finishing touch. Carefully remove the foil from the ribs, revealing their tender, flavorful goodness. Be cautious as the steam will escape. Next, grab a basting brush or spoon and generously brush the prepared barbecue sauce over both sides of the ribs. Make sure to coat them evenly, allowing the sauce to seep into all those delicious nooks and crannies. Now for the final step to elevate our barbecue ribs to perfection. If you'd like to add an extra layer of caramelization and flavor, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or about 200 degrees Celsius. This step is optional but highly recommended for that irresistible char and glaze. Place the sauced ribs back into the oven, uncovered, and let them broil for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Keep a close eye on them to prevent burning. This quick broil will caramelize the barbecue sauce, giving the ribs a beautiful glaze and added depth of flavor. Once the ribs are nicely caramelized, remove them from the oven and let them rest for a few minutes. This resting period allows the juices to redistribute within the meat, ensuring tender and juicy ribs. Now it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Cut between the bones to separate into individual ribs and serve them up with extra barbecue sauce on the side for dipping or drizzling. As you embark on making these delicious oven-baked barbecue ribs, here are a few tips to keep in mind. Firstly, don't hesitate to adjust the spice level of both the dry rub and barbecue sauce to suit your taste preferences. Whether you prefer a bit more heat or a sweeter profile, feel free to customize the seasonings accordingly. Secondly, to ensure your ribs are perfectly tender, check for doneness by testing if the meat easily pulls away from the bones. This indicates that they're cooked to juicy, fall off the bone perfection. Thirdly, if you opt to broil the ribs at the end, keep a close eye on them to achieve that beautiful caramelization without burning. This step enhances the flavor and texture of the barbecue sauce, adding a delicious finishing touch. Lastly, after cooking, allow the ribs to rest for a few minutes before serving. This resting period allows the juices to redistribute within the meat, resulting in juicier and more flavorful ribs. With these tips in mind, you're all set to enjoy your oven-baked barbecue ribs with homemade sauce. Enjoy!